Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Vidane TV. It is Thursday night. That means it is NEP's night in America and even parts of Canada. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for tuning in to Vidane's TV's coverage of the NEPiRacing series presented by U-House Racing Designs here at Loudon for the second to last race of the season for the Page Street 70. 70 laps on the docket. Here's Showtime. Paul Strickland Jr. down here in the production trailer alongside me, Aaron Creed. Hey, Ron, how are we feeling tonight, brother?
Oh, we're feeling good. And we get to say our favorite word of the entire season, penultimate race of the NEP season. 2 races left, and we got a hot battle for the championship going on here between 3 competitors.
Yeah, wild how long the season's been and just how tight this points battle's coming down to it with, like you mentioned, 2 races to go. You can see that top 5 standings as they run. We're going to be updating that throughout the evening here tonight as they run, so to speak. So it's not just a clever term there. RSAL TV hooking us up with some new toys and trinkets here for the broadcast booth, and we'll be following along with that championship battle very, very closely. Steve Daddio coming in on top. Reagan Parent 15 markers back, still mathematically eligible, as is Ryan Messer, who just capped off his RBR iRacing Maritime Super Late Model Series Championship this past Monday. Looking to make it a twofer here on Vidane TV. Kenny Kibbe, Brent Roy still battling within the top 5, but going to be a stretch for them to try and get into this one. We'll take a quick, brief, and ferocious look at the starting lineup, and Steve Daddio in that 99 car is doing everything he needs to do to win this race. He's starting on the pole. He's got Evan Bollier there on the outside.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. But right there in row 2 on the outside, you got Reggie Parent. Also in the championship race, Ryan Libby starting to the inside.
Right in behind them, Ryan Messer, we've been mentioning, going to start in 5th. John Peters in behind him. We're already lined up 2 by 2 all the way throughout the field. The lights have the iRacing Mustang pace car turned off. Nope, that's not the Mustang. That's the Camry, I think. The non-manufacturer specific pace car. 20 cars out here on the or in the field here this evening, taking that green flag, and there it is. Barney and the flag stamp says it is time to go.
And Stephen Daddio and Evan Bollier side by side into the first turn, and it looks like Daddio is going to get the advantage here from the get-go. Ryan Libby moving to the inside of Bollier right now, and all of these drivers that are running up front right now, they're looking to continue a streak here. We've never had a repeat winner in all 5 seasons of the New Hampshire Motor Speedway being on this NEP schedule. It's the only speedway to be on the schedule every single year. So pretty cool right now. We got Stephen Daddio continuing to lead the way with Evan Bollier filing into 2nd.
Crazy statistic. A little bit of a wiggle there for Bollier, but gathers it back up. The front 2 pulling away a little bit. Reagan Parent going to slide into 3rd. Libby in 4th. Ryan Messer there trying to break back in to the top 5 with Ryan Libby there as well in that 46 car. And crazy to think 5 races here at Loudon, 5 different winners. And we are trying to, this is one of those tracks where everybody's trying to win at. As you can see, Bollier going to take over the lead there on the 99 of getting around Daddio there. But this is a home track for a lot of these drivers that are based up here in the Northeast. So trying to come home with a win at the virtual Loudon New Hampshire Motor Speedway, that is definitely a top ticket on a lot of these drivers. A lot of these drivers go too.
Yeah, racing in front of those hometown fans for sure. And we got a good battle going on here between Ryan Libby, Ryan Messer, and Reagan Parent for 3rd. Messer doesn't officially have a win here at New Hampshire, but you were saying we've had 5 different winners. We've only had 4 seasons of NEP racing. That's because Ryan Messer actually subbed for Brent Roy last season to keep him in the points race when we were allowing those kinds of things to occur. And Messer ended up taking home the win that last year. So he's no stranger to victory lane, and you know that too because of earlier this week locking up another title in the Super Late models.
Yeah, but ATV's Iron Man that we like to call him here. Ryan Messer in the 1 car showing us how it's done, and always got to give props to the drivers out there in the real cars and the sim cars that wear those bright white gloves or the bright neon gloves so you can see exactly how hard that driver's working on the inside of this cockpit. Working lap number 5 here at Loudon. 65 laps to go. The front 10 or so have got it about single file, but you can see Ryan Messer taking a peek down low on that 46 car Libby to see if he can better that spot.
And it looks like he was, well, I was about to say he's got it, but he got a little loose there out of turn 4 and almost got into the 46 there. But now Messer's able to gather it back up pretty quickly, and he's just about to clear that 46 machine and take that 3rd spot. I know Ryan's still got a couple probably about a couple months still before it's time to go racing up there in the maritime part of Canada. But I know I look forward to hopefully getting up there in July to see a bunch of them and himself and Brent Roy. So we'll see how that goes. But right now we got single file right now on the racetrack, and not really a surprise there because this track is very abrasive. Tire strategy is definitely one of the keys to victory here, as Arsal pointed out to us with his race notes for tonight. Saving that right front tire. They do have 2 extra sets of tires, so if we do get some quick yellows, we might see almost everyone come down pit road. The most interesting part, we got 75% fuel. The max you can go is approximately 68 green flag laps. And notice I said approximately and green flag. This race format tonight is 70 laps total. Could we see some strategy come in? It's quite possible.
Oh, absolutely. You can see these drivers have this place figured out. A lot of practice laps get turned. We made mention at this kind of a home track for most of the drivers in the field here this evening and every season here at the NEP group. As you can see, Daddio moving back in on the leader. And we got to take a look at this points battle because, well, it's a race battle right now, too. Second and third are first and second in the points. Ryan Messer came in, or checked out Ryan Messer back in third in point. Reagan Parent there in second. So Messer doing what he can to try and get up around Daddio, but if he gets the spot, that's only going to be 1 point. He's going to need a little bit of bad luck in that 99 crew to gain a little bit of ground in the championship.
Yeah, Daddio, the Connecticut racer, has been awful consistent this entire season. Most seasons he has been. So he's been right up there in the podium in both the races and the final points orders in previous seasons as well. So not a surprise to see him just continuing to be consistent, right around there in the runner-up spot. Maybe when we get down to the close of this race, he could possibly pounce and even seal the deal, potentially going into Dover next week. But right now, he's the one to beat. Ryan Messer's staying right with him. Unfortunately, Regan Parent's fallen to 8th spot, and that's going to cost him a little bit in the points as they run. Regan, I know he wasn't as excited that we were running the Xfinity cars coming into this race instead of the late models. He's one of the fans of those late model stock cars that we did run on several of the shorter facilities this season. But right now he's riding in 8th. Again, might not be showing all he's got, just saving that car for later on. He kind of had command of that point lead for a while there. And unfortunately, Talladega ran into some troubles, some technical troubles, I guess you could say, that kind of pushed him back in the points race. You'd hate to see that be the difference in the final finishing order, but he's giving it his all right now as well.
And you can see right up in front of him, the Camry Kid, the number 26 car, the Flow Racing ride of Brent Roy, running in 7th position. He quietly got into 5th in the point standings last week after last weekend's race. There you see a little side-by-side battle up in front of him between the 46 car of Ryan Libby, Ryan Messer there on the outside, still trying to hold on to that 3rd position and chase down those top 2. They're still kind of sort of single file, but you can see Libby just a little bit better down the bottom side of the racetrack.
Yeah, they're all just kind of trying to figure out what they've got right now, how their car handles in certain situations. And, right now we got Ryan Messer and Ryan Libby. The Ryan's battle. We don't have Kibby and Libby on the track this time. Kenny wasn't able to make tonight's race. So now I got to say the Ryans are battling for the 3rd spot right now. Kind of makes some. Ryan Libby's always associated with someone else when they're battling on the track. And he's hoping to finishing it off the season with a couple good runs here in that number 46 machine. Right now having a good top 5 run, just kind of riding out there. John Peters saving his stuff, kind of lurking back there in the 5th spot. We've seen him win several times this season and is the 3-time champion of the series. So 5 wins to be exact. And wouldn't be surprised if he's up there in the hunt before we're done tonight.
And right in behind him, got to give a shout out to that 10 car. Dale Glessner having a solid run, running in at the 6th spot right now in the tire tracks. 3-time champion John Peters in that number 10 car. We made mention Brent Roy, Reagan Parent in behind them. A couple cars even further on back. There's the 3 of Brandon Newhouse having him a quiet day up in the top 10. Qualified 9th, running in 9th right now. And just a little bit further on back, you see that double 4 car of Scott McDonald rounding out the top 10 as they run.
Yeah, how about Scott McDonald having a good top 10 run early in this race? We've seen him at Talladega. He was having a good run going, and he's got a couple top 5s. I think one of those top 5s came to Talladega, actually. and he's had a pretty good season. Currently in 12th in points, knocking on the door of a top 10. We were talking about the top 5 as they run, but there's a 3-way tie for 8th spot right now between Austin Belke, Corey Casagrande, and Zane Farrell. Unfortunately, Corey's going to fall back a little bit potentially here in the standings. This is his first drop, though, that he's using. He's down in Hickory, just across town from me normally, and Corey's running the past super late model race the next couple nights, so he's got his hands full. I'm sure he's probably watching us from his hotel room tonight. But right now, one of his closest competitors in the standings, Zane Farrell, is right there, and he's got a chance to capitalize in those points because I don't believe Austin Belke's in the field tonight either.
And it's always bittersweet to run these iRacing seasons. Once we get to this time of the year, we start to see some of the drivers not fizzle out, but some of the fields get a little bit lighter, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, because that means that the computers are kind of getting put away, put into the closet. They see Ryan Salvatore in the 12 car, holding on to the 12th position, right where he qualified behind Zane Farrell and Scott McDonald in the 14, the 44 car there. But as these iRacing seasons start to come to a close, it means it's going to get warmer outside. I know it was warm here in southern New England. I actually got outside, got a little yard work done today, and well, my body's definitely feeling it, 'cause I don't think I've moved in like 6 months, but the temp's getting warmer, the racetracks are coming out of the garage, out of the shops, and we're going to be real close to real racing. And I know you and I have talked offline a couple of times here. We got a lot of cool stuff going on here at Vidane TV in the real racing world. So going to be a lot to try and keep up with, but man, oh man, am I looking forward to getting busy at a racetrack.
Yeah, I was outside for dinner tonight. So yeah, the weather's really nice outside today. But one driver that just behind these drivers that were, well, we were focused on that battle for 10th before, but we're back at the lead battle. Evan Boyer, Stephen Daddio, Ryan Messer, and Ryan Libby continue to run in those positions. One of those drivers was that's running about mid-pack in about 14th spot that actually has come back after a couple weeks off. Jeffrey Bradway, there he is. You knew who I was talking about. And he was in Disney for the couple weeks, and now he's back to close out his rookie season in that number 13 machine. Another Connecticut racer running in 14th, a couple spots ahead of his rookie challenger, Colby Burkholder. Johnny Miller's between them. Johnny's had one of his better seasons for sure. This particular NEP season, 2023-2024. Currently sits 14th in points. Hasn't missed a race actually, and has a full handful of top 10 finishes. So John's going to try to improve and get a half a dozen top 10 finishes before this is out. But he's going to have to move up a couple spots, maybe play the strategy game. Right now, we're 21 laps in out of 70, and clean and green so far.
Yeah, you saw a lap or two ago, Colby Burkholder get up into the outside wall there in the 26 car. Another Rookie of the Year contender, not quite having the day they were looking for, but still holding tough in the 16th position. The 04 car, Bobby Ship, just a little further on back. Haven't mentioned the Ship brothers all night long. He's back here in 17th. Jaron Adams in the 43 car. There you see that throwback to the Kodak paint scheme. That's one of the coolest paint schemes I think we've got here in the NEP. A lot of memories attached to that Kodak scheme. But Jeffrey Brown in the 27 car back in 19th, and rounding out the field, Brian Ship getting that thing around. Not quite a hard or a solid qualifying effort, but got a little bit of time to make it up. We're about a quarter of the distance, maybe a third of the distance here. Working a lap number 22. Evan Bollier with a big slide in the lead coming out of turn number 4. Doesn't affect him too much, but that's going to close the gap, and that's going to really make the guys in behind him try and get just a little bit quicker getting into the corners.
Yeah, things have kind of heated up here just suddenly, and after Evan Boyer making it a little interesting for everyone, this is a tough track to drive, from what I've heard here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Once again, the abrasive surface and just the characteristics of this particular track. It's flatter corners than a lot of places. There you just saw Ryan Messer. Actually, I think he did get into the wall. I think we saw that last week, didn't we, Paul? Him kind of brushing the wall there and recovering from it. Now he's trying to hold on to that third spot with Ryan Libby.
And you can see they're still side by side, battling bumper to bumper right now. Libby down on the bottom side, going to try and take the air off the quarter panel. Oh, connection issue for Messer in the 1 car. Always tough to hold on to that, but you can see side by side, door handle to door handle as they come out of turn number 4. There's that wiggle again from the 56. The 1 car had it that time too. They are getting squirrely 25 laps in.
Those tires are wearing, I'm sure. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting if as we near closer to halfway, if we remain green, if we're gonna see some green flag pit stops, and everyone's gonna be kind of praying that they don't get a caution that leaves them out of sequence or anything like that. So right now, everyone's keeping it pretty clean. Stephen Daddio right on the tail of Evan Boyer. Third place is Ryan Libby, Ryan Messer fourth, and John Peters rounding out the top five. We were talking about some of those guys in the back of the field. Jeff Brown is actually our sponsor driver for tonight. How about that? He's got the fewest incident points this season for any driver who has raced every week. And his over-under for tonight is 16.5. So Jeff Brown, gentleman Jeff Brown, as we call him in the 27, doing what he can. We got Regan Parent, one of our championship contenders, is in the pits. You might want to take a look at what's going on with that in the 117 car.
Now this is interesting because you and I have been back and forth about the pit strategy, and you've striked on it a couple of times. That looked like a relatively quick stop, 4 tires, full of gas, 68 laps, roughly on a full tank of gas. If we go all green here, we have had some races here in the NEP series on Verdane TV where we've gone flag to flag, and if that's the case, everybody's going to have to come down pit road at least one time. So that might be something to keep an eye on. That might be a championship move there.
What I'm interested in seeing, yeah, for sure, is how these lap times are going to be different with the tire wear and that comes with this New Hampshire circuit. If Regan Parent, if he's going to start running, he's a lap down right now, but if this stays green, if he's going to be able to run some circles around these competitors, maybe switching it up, saw he was at a little bit of a disadvantage there to start off the race, and seeing if this might be the only strategy that could potentially work for him and maybe might be going through his head. So will be interesting to see what he can do here in that 117 race car. Right now, Evan Boyer, though, continuing to lead the way as we start to near halfway.
And there you can see the numbers. The numbers do not lie. He's a second quicker than everybody else. Well, 0.7 of a second quicker than the leaders there. A 31.10 down at the very bottom of the scoring pylon there. And the leader ran a 31.87, 82, 85 for the top 3. So this is going to be interesting. You can see Colby Burkholder going to come down pit road here as well in the 26, a little bit further on in the pack. But I think, Aaron, these guys are going to start seeing those lap times. They're going to start coming down pit road pretty quickly here. And I was halfway through updating the points graphics, and that's when Parent came down. When he was running in 8th, he was 22 points back. But as he slides back to P20 right now, not to say that he's going to finish there, but that's going to slide him all the way back to 3rd, 34 points back. And it's going to slide Messer back into the 2nd position. But I think everybody's going to end up having to come down pit road here at this point, get some tires on these things, and they're going to see just how quick that 117 car is on those fresher tires for sure.
Yeah, and that time by Parent was more than a second faster. So we'll excuse your math the first time because it ended up becoming accurate. But now we see Zane Farrell coming down the pit road, the Jennerstown racer, and the number 14 doing his thing. Pretty much can seal a top 10 points finish with a decent run tonight. He's going to come down for fresh sneakers as well. Evan Boyer continues to lead the way. We got a little pass possibly going on. Actually, no, that's Regan Parent once again. He has been able to get by John Peters. Now he's by Ryan Messer. And once he can get by these front 3, he's going to be back on the lead lap. So things could even go his way. Well, I was going to say they could go his way if a yellow flag comes out. It would go his way right now because he's the first car lap down. He'd get the free pass. And but if he's able to unlap himself, he's got the lead. He's got that track position. Well, that's not going to help though. If he's nudging the wall like that coming down the straightaway, but he still has that speed in the 117 machine. Now the front. Now there's a battle for second though, going on right in front of him.
I was just going to say he's in a win-win situation as far as the pit road scenario concerns. And they went up and slapped the wall. Handful of drivers coming down. There comes Messer, Roy, Bradway, and Henry all giving up their spots to come down pit road. They're seeing how quick that 117 is, and they want to get back out there as quickly as possible. There you can see Regan Parent. He's actually going to pass these guys down on pit road and climb the scoring pylon. So he's had himself half a dozen or so laps with these quick times, with these fresh tires, and it's going to be an opportunity for him. We made mention he came down 8th before that pit stop. We'll see where he ends up here as green flag pit stops continue on lap 34.
Yeah, it's an interesting strategy. I don't know if it's going to get him to the lead, but if it does, that is amazing strategy because he gets a lap, because you get points for leading laps here in the series. So, I mean, you could have played it the other way where he could have stayed out longer than everyone else. But I don't think at a track like that, like this, that's a smart thing to do. As you can pretty much see, once some of the leaders came in, everyone else came down. I think the front three, they still have stayed out. Also, an interesting strategy. Maybe trying to try to keep it going. I mean, we are at halfway right now. So technically, if we go green the rest of the way, those guys, I mean, they could stay out if they wanted to. I guess everyone could technically stay out since it is 68 laps on fuel. But I don't know. We're going to have to see what happens here. Maybe they're using the strategy to come down pit road late so that they have fresher rubber on this beginning of this next run. It's going to be interesting to see how all this shakes out as Boyer and Daddio are down pit road now.
Ryan Libby and John Miller, the last two drivers that still have to pit. Looks like the 46 going to slow down and come down pit road here as well. Johnny Miller might try and stay out and lead himself a lap there. You can see he's getting into 3 and 4 right now in that number 6 car. He's got a little bit of ground to try and make up on Libby. Nope, going to come down pit road in that 6 car. So that's going to give everybody an opportunity to come down. Looks like Brian Ship and Jaron Adams still out there on track. They're scored 3rd and 4th right now, but they've still got to come down pit road. And man, oh man, look at that 5th place car. He's going to inherit the lead here, Aaron, as soon as we cycle all the way through. How about Reagan Parent in that 5th spot?
Yeah, how about him? And Jared Adams, though, leads that last lap, and I think that's his first lap led this season at least. Yes, this season this is his first lap led. I don't know if it's a first lap led in his NEP career. So the general manager for Jennerstown Speedway doing a great job right there in the 43 Kodak scheme. Adams film and photo now. Well, I think he was trying to maybe go down to pit road or start looking to go down pit road, but now he's getting passed by these faster cars. He's going to have to stay out another lap, and there's a little bit of rubbing his racing going on there. At a turn 4 as Regan Parent gets by. Look at this, cycling back, like you said, Ryan Libby in the lead, but look who is second. Regan Parent, and once Adams and Ship come down pit road, it's going to be interesting to see how this all cycles out with the points as we run, because Steven Daddio is down quite a few positions.
Daddio all the way down in the 9th position. Bad pit stop for that 99 crew. And they're still racing side by side. You can see that 43 car still hasn't come down pit road just yet. Going to try and stretch this out as long as he can. But you can see everybody coming up through the field here has quicker tires or fresher tires. So they're going to be quicker by about a second, maybe even 2 seconds, depending on how they get caught up on the racetrack. Past halfway at this point, everybody's got enough fuel, but we saw after 40 laps, tires are absolutely something that these drivers are going to want here. Ryan Libby up front, Reagan Parent running in second, Ryan Messer, Brent Roy, and Evan Bollier, the top 5.
Yeah, and rounding out the top 10, John Peters, Steven Daddio with Adams and Ship. They haven't pitted yet, but they are fading a little bit. Daddio is back up to 7th. Adams, Ship, and Dale Glessner currently round out the top 10. But how about Ryan Libby, though, in that 46 car? I know he's very hungry for a victory. Has a pole this season, has a couple top 5s, has run very well, has led 72 laps all season, and but has been, what has escaped him is that victory. So that would be cool to see Ryan Libby, another Connecticut, New England racer, looking to secure his first win of the season before it's out. But look at this battle for second. Championship contenders, Ryan Messer getting by Regan Parent for the spot.
Brian Ship going to give up his top 10 spot, come down pit road, and get service to that number 48 machine. Still clean and green here at Loudon, and these guys putting on a heck of a clinic here. Ryan Libby out front by 2.5 seconds over Ryan Messer. Was able to take over that second spot. Reagan Parent dropping back to second, dropping back to third. Evan Bollier now going to try and get by on the outside. Going to slide on up in front of another couple of fast cars. Brent Roy, John Peters there. Peters going to take a look down low on Brent Roy in that 26 Flow Racing ride, and he's going to go all the way up the racetrack. This is the part where Reagan Parent's going to start sliding back just a little bit, because he's got doesn't quite have as fresh tires as these drivers do. As you can see, 10 laps or so ago that Parent came down to get those tires, if you take a look at the graphics. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on for sure, especially if we get a late race caution here with 10, 20 laps to go. I got a feeling we're going to see a lot of these guys come down pit road and get tires.
I'm really interested to see what Regan Parent decides to do here, because obviously, like you said, it's on 10-lap older tires, and it's already showing. But we saw how advantageous that was at the beginning of the run, how good track position was. If he decides to come in way earlier than the other competitors, maybe in about 10 laps or so, what are the other competitors going to do? Are they going to kind of negate his great strategy and come down pit road as well, pretty much whenever he does, or are they going to stick with their own strategy and maybe allow Parent to have some track position before the checkered flag? It's going to be interesting right now. Parent in 7th, and he was falling back, but he does have a bit of a cushion now because it's about 4 seconds back to where Dale Glessner is in 8th, and then another 3 seconds back to Brandon Newhouse in 9th. So right now he's pretty safe. Good battle going on here. Actually, no, that's the lead battle. Actually, no, the battle for second, and they are approaching the lap car of Colby Burkholder right now. So a lot of with the long green flag run, we're hitting lap traffic right now, and that could play a factor for sure before we're all said and done as well.
Absolutely. You can see that 46 car was able to get through that lap traffic relatively cleanly, but the side-by-side between Boyer and Messer slid them back just a little bit. You can see it's about 3 seconds a gap between first and third. John Peters there in the 4th position. Steve Daddio back up into the top 5. There's Brent Roy in the 26 car. Regan Parent, like you made mention, back into 7th, and it looks like he's going to settle in there with 25 laps to go. So gotta wonder if they're going to try and maybe come down pit road one more time and see if they can maybe take advantage of some tires, or do you have enough time to do that under green flag and get all that track position back, not knowing whether or not everybody else is going to pit? It's going to be interesting to see here, especially if we do go all the way to the checkered flag.
Yeah, that is a risk that Regan Parent is taking if he decides to come back down pit road. We don't even know if it could be possible that someone's going to spin out and we have a yellow flag too. We've still got 24 laps to decide this, so a long way to go still. Ryan Libby, the car to beat right now. John Peters, though, is the one that I've been kind of watching in the number 09 and 4th. He has kind of been sneaking behind some of those other competitors, and he is right there with Evan Boyer and Ryan Messer now in that battle for second. So John Peters, we've said it time and time again, he kind of saves his stuff. I kind of call him the Matt Hirschman of the NEP series, because you don't sometimes see him until towards the end, where he's all of a sudden in contention for the lead or is in the lead sometimes. So John Peters, the Maine native, now living in North Carolina, he's going to be one to beat as we continue to ride with he could be one to beat as we continue to ride with Ryan Libby. Now we see Evan Boyer behind them in second. He's actually put a little bit of a margin on that battle for third.
And there you see Peter's going to take a shot down on the bottom side, and Messer looks like he's just going to let him go on by, maybe trying a little bit of a crossover here. There you see it. Messer going to jump down to the bottom side of the racetrack, try and take that third spot away. These guys have done battle side by side, bumper to bumper, roof to hood, all sorts of stuff over the past 5 seasons here in NEP. They always put on a heck of a show here. Messer trying to get himself his first championship in the NEP series. John Peters trying to stay in the top 5 in points, coming back in 5th. There you can see the or coming outside of the top 5 here in tonight, but he's going to probably move in with Kenny Kibbe not being in the field here tonight. You can see those top 5 standings as they run there on the right-hand side of your screen, and we're going to try and check on that maybe one more time throughout the race here. Lots of moving parts here at Loudon, lots of moving parts in this championship, and lots of stories that are going to be told between the end of this thing and the end of next week's race. And it's crazy to think we're going to be crowning ourselves a champion here in the NEP series. Libby doing everything he can to take the spotlight here with 2 races to go in the season. He's running out front. Evan Boyer second, John Peters in third, Messer and Daddio the top 5.
While you were sharing that points as they run, it actually changed. Once again, another story change. Regan Parent was down pit road. He did decide to come in with 20 to go, a little before 20 to go, currently being scored 16th a lap down. So once again, he's going to try to do that strategy that he did before and unlap himself in that 117 car. And Reggie's going to try to do what he did best that first cycle. And once again, that could work out for him if, and only if, these leaders decide to pit. Oh, are the leaders going to decide to make another green flag pit stop if we stay green? Oh, wow. That Colby Barkholder got way loose there as Regan Parent approached him. This is for position. It's for 15th spot. And Regan Parent going to take that spot with ease. And yeah, we're going to see if was it too early? Was that pit stop too early? Wasn't too late. But was it not even supposed should have I'm so torn with words, Paul, right now because of this strategy that it's very it's so intriguing right now to see what is going to happen here these last 17, 18 laps. Are the leaders going to come in?
Man, I
Right
feel
now,
like I feel
Go
like
ahead,
if it, I
Paul.
feel like if it was 10 laps ago, this would have been the perfect move. But I don't know if he's got enough time to drive through the field. He's going to have to get that lap back the hard way and then drive through the field, which we saw him do. But there's only 17 laps to go. You can see the lap times up right now. Parents down there in 15th, running a 30.05 last time by, 31.84, a full second quicker than our leader last time by. You do the quick math, that's 17 seconds that he'll be able to gain on track in the number 17 car. Maybe it's all a numbers thing here in New Hampshire. Isn't there a casino? I don't think there's a casino in Loudon, is there?
I can't remember. No, there is not. I just got confirmation. Um, but yeah, Ryan Libby continuing to lead the way. But Regan Parent, yeah, I think it's too far back if everyone else decides to stay out. He's probably only going to get to about mid-pack. And then the thing that you also have to think about is after about, another 10 or so laps, his lap times are probably going to equalize out because those tires that he's on now, which are fresh right now, are going to get pretty worn out. And Paul, I'm surprised that you didn't know there was a casino since I know you were there just a few months ago. But I am pretty sure you were gambling on some of those Legends Nationals races, weren't you? You're not allowed to do that.
I was busy working.
Yeah.
No, we weren't doing any gambling. We were definitely having ourselves a good time, and something Nashville coming up next month for the NX US Legends Tour. So more on that soon to come. These guys are all over the racetrack right now. They're trying to get all of it. They know that we're getting down to the nitty gritty. 14 laps to go. Take a look at that scoring pylon real quick though, Aaron. Libby had a 3-second lead. He's been dealing with some of this lap traffic. He's lost about a second of that lead to Bollier. You can see still has himself a 2-second gap back to Evan Bollier in second position here with 14 laps to go. But he still has some lap traffic up in front of him. John Peters and Ryan Messer still going at it for third and fourth, and Steve Daddio still holding on to fifth. Roy Glessner, House Salvatore, and Johnny Miller, the top 10 as they run. Everybody trying to chase down Libby. There's a good shot. You've got the 46 car Libby. That's your leader. The next car in line is going to be a lap car, and then you've got Bollier who's running in second, 2 seconds back. So there's a lot going on here. We know these guys want tires right now. It's been green so far throughout the entirety of this one, and that's kind of intriguing because we heard a couple of rumblings in the drivers' meeting about how this race was supposed to be a late model race, but we switched it up to these Xfinity cars. These guys putting on a heck of a show for not wanting to drive these things.
Yeah, it's a pretty good show right now, and New Hampshire, with how challenging it is very hard to pass. It is one of those things where as we ride along with Ryan Libby getting ready to put Jeffrey Bradway a third lap down in that 13 car. Right now, he's the lead is down to 1.6 seconds. I did get confirmation. So there are casinos. I got confirmation from my statistician for tonight that there are casinos in New Hampshire, but not in Loudon. So there's one in Concord, Manchester, and Belmont, and then there's of course Foxwoods and Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. So right now Zane Farrell kind of using the same kind of a strategy that he was before and coming down pit road fairly early. But yeah, everyone better get to their closest casino and make their net bets right about now. Before I think they're supposed to make it before the race. Kind of unfair to do that when we have 10 laps to go, but they'll have to remember that next time at Dover, which does have a casino or a horse betting track and a casino in the infield. So I can confirm that. I do remember that.
Yes, Dover definitely has a casino. I actually met Landon Castle in the Dover Downs Casino way back in 2011 when I did his Cup Series website, and it was kind of funny because he snuck up behind me, and well, We won't get into details. That's one of those Verdane TV after dark deals. 10 laps to go though here at Loudon, and you can see that 17 car is quick. That's the second place car. He's going to try and get around and get that lap back the hard way. All in all, even if he were to finish out right now just outside the top 12, solid run. Definitely thinking outside of the box, thinking championship picture, and took a shot in the dark. A little bit of a Hail Mary, I guess you could say, here in the racing world. We got spring football coming up here with the UFL right around the corner. So throwing a little bit of a Hail Mary. I don't know if 9 laps is enough time for these guys to fall off even more, but you can see just how hard he's trying to drive that 17 car. A little bit sideways getting across the stripe that time.
Yeah, we've seen him a little bit sideways a few times there in that race car. And but yeah, he's doing a good job in that Ford. Yeah, that's sometimes what you got to do. You got to think outside the box and do what you can. I don't know. With 8 laps to go, I have a feeling some of these guys, if it stays green, actually, I don't even know. Maybe if it goes yellow, if they're going to even come down for 4 fresh tires or even 2 fresh tires now. Because track position is so important at this place, as we've seen. Right now, I think they've got what they've got. Now, a yellow flag would be great for someone like Regan Parent. He is the first car a lap down, and well, that got interesting there with Jared Adams there. Could have been a yellow right there, but he's able to keep it going straight there in the 43 as Ryan Libby approaches his car. And but yeah, it's one of those things where a yellow flag with only a few laps to go and some of these leaders not wanting to come down pit road, that could be the saving grace for Regan Parent, because then he'll be back on the lead lap and will have made up all those seconds of time. But man, that's still the way that we've gone green this entire race. I don't see it happening. As now Jared Adams does move out of the way for the 46 of Ryan Libby, and Regan Parent's right there. He's gonna have to work to unlap himself though at this point.
It's such a weird thing with time, and there you see Vollier getting a little loosey-goosey back in the 56 car. That's the second place car. A lot of lap traffic here for Libby, and you can see we made mention again, Parent trying to get that lap back the hard way with a 5 laps to go from Barney up in the flag stand, and we saw Zane Farrell come down pit road 5-10 laps ago or so. So the easy question, do we want tires? Oh yeah, we definitely need them. These guys are struggling right now with the handling of these cars, and they came down about lap 40, 45 or so, and Parent made himself a 2 pit stop race here. Currently the first car 1 lap down in 11th, and he is right on the back bumper of our leader in that 46 car, and you can see just how high he has to drag that car up so he doesn't wear those tires out anymore, and he's getting hungry right now. He's all over the back bumper. He's closing in at a ferocious pace. Look, right up to the back bumper there in 3 and 4, but coming to the stripe with 3 laps to go. Gonna have enough juice, I think, to get back on the lead lap, but top 10, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say, if you're Ryan Libby, you might want to just let him by at this point. But at the same time, his lead's only a second and a half, and Evan Boyer is slowly closing in here on these last 3 laps. He's in that picture. He's got Scott McDonald, the lap car, in between them as well. But Evan Boyer is pushing it as well. He is still looking for his first victory of this season. Came really close last week. And he wants to close out the season with another podium finish, but would like to win too. So we got a couple drivers that have not won this season or at Loudon. So it's coming down to some excitement here with less than 2 laps to go.
Popsicle sticks in the air there. You can see Ryan Messer, Steve Daddio going back and forth, 3rd and 4th. John Peters going to slide on back to 5th. Everybody's still chasing that 46 car. There you see Regan Parent going to get right to his back bumper in at 3 and 4. Does he have enough to get around him? Coming out of the corner to the white flag, white rag. 1 lap to go at New Hampshire. Got a bit of a cushion in behind, a 2.5 seconds, 2.3 back to Bollier in 2nd. Parent doing everything he can. I don't think he's got enough to get around him, though. Coming down to the back straightaway for the final time. Take us home, Aaron.
All right, Ryan Libby with a second. It's still a 2.5 seconds pad on that lead. I think this is going to be his race to lose right now. Regan Parent does unlap himself, but it's not going to be enough time. Ryan Libby coming around here, turn 4, to take the checkered flag and his first win of the season. I know that number 46 driver has to be elated after so much heartbreak earlier this season. That Discount Tire car is in victory lane here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Putting on a heck of a show here, as always, here with the NEP series, and gotta give a call to that 17 crew. Man, what a good call. Not necessarily a good call, but it was a gutsy call. It definitely threw a monkey wrench into the toolbox, I guess, wherever monkey wrenches go. But came home with an 11th place finish. Not quite what he needed to try and close the gap up here. We'll take a look at the points here momentarily, but let's take a look at this finishing order. There you see it, Ryan Libby, Evan Bollier, and Ryan Messer, the top three. We'll talk to those three drivers here momentarily. Easy enough for me to say. Steve Daddio in fourth, John Peters sliding on back to fifth. Brent Roy there in sixth, Dale Glester, Brandon Newhouse, Johnny Miller, and Ryan Salvatore. How about that? Our Sal coming in with the top 10.
Yeah, solid top 10 run for him. And there you see rounding out the field, Regan Parent, Scott McDonald, Adam Henry, Bobby Ship, Kobe Burkholder, Zane Farrell, Brian Ship, Jeffrey Brown, and a couple others. And I don't think we had a single car that was out of the race. We didn't have a single yellow flag. This is going to be a good one, for an easy one for the officials to evaluate after all is said and done. But great job by Ryan Libby, getting that first victory of the year. I think this is the furthest down in the order that we've seen Stephen Daddio in a while, fourth. And John Peters, kind of surprised he faded there at the end.
Yeah, it might have been a little contact between the 1 and the 09, but still a solid top five. And let's see if we get some of these driver intros taken care of. You're down there in victory lane with Ryan Libby, first win of the season.
Congratulations on the victory, Ryan. I know you have to be quite elated. Led several laps this season, and I know it didn't go the way you wanted in several races, but here you sealed the deal here at New Hampshire.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough place to come back to here, and yeah, it feels great to be back in victory lane. I think it's only been about 2 seasons already, so yeah, it definitely feels great to be back, and it's this track's really tough to pass, so and I actually really like this track, but yeah, we ended up pulling away with it today.
And talk us through the strategy there. I think you were one of the cars that came down pit road a little bit early, not extremely early, but before some of the other leaders, getting a little bit of track position there in the pits.
Yeah, as soon as I saw Evan and Daddio pit, I knew I had to pit soon because I know tires mattered so much here. And while I was on pit road, I actually made a last-minute decision to click off the left sides. I says, hey, what the hell? I'm not in points or anything like that, and we're just going to gamble and see what happens. And took only 2 tires. And I knew if I just managed and saved the rear tires coming out of the corner, I might have had something at the end. And that's what we did. Made a pretty good call on pit road, and just happy to be here.
Definitely a good call. One we didn't even catch right there. So thanks for pointing that out. Who helps you get you to and from the virtual racetrack?
I just got to thank everyone at NEP and who do I got here? High Performance Lubricants, North End Auto Parts, and everyone at Vidane. You guys do a great job, and always watch the broadcast after. But thanks a lot, guys.
All right, that's Ryan Libby. Your victor in trophy takes the trophy today here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Paul, I believe you're with our second place finisher, Evan Boyer.
Indeed, I am. The 56 car Evan Bollier qualifying P2, finishing P2. Solid night on the board here. A little bit squirrely with the back end of that car a couple of times there, but all in all, a pretty good race.
Yeah, I wish we had a few more laps. That's it. Ryan just said it. He made a great call to only take 2 tires, and he got himself out enough of a lead. And I thought the 2 tires would hurt him more than they ended up on that long run. I really thought we'd be able to get there. And then, yeah, those last few laps, I was just giving it everything I had, trying to close that gap. But, all in all, a good night. Led a lot of laps. Car was really good. The car was fast. Just hate to lose them that way when you have such a fast car. But that's how it goes. Good for Ryan to get a win. He's been so competitive in this series, and always enjoy racing with him, and had a great race going there with Daddio as well, and Messer right behind us. So a lot of fun to be at the front anyway. I guess I can be happy to be disappointed in second.
We went flag to flag here in this one, and we saw championship contender Reagan Parent came down pit road early under green flag, and saw the lap times really jump up. When everybody else came down for tires, did that really affect the handling of the race car, or was it just on the stopwatch?
Oh, it was definitely on the stopwatch and in the handling, sure. We were trying a lot of different methods as we got laps on the tires to kind of keep the pace up, especially out in the lead. You know, those guys behind me, I know some of them were trying to shift into the corner. I couldn't get my car to do that, and I didn't feel comfortable trying it while I was leading the race. And, and that's what really made me want to take 4. You know, I thought we had the best car, and you know, when you have the best car, you want to have the best tires and go out and get it. And we just came up a few laps short.
Absolutely. One more race to go here in the season. Who's out there watching? Who gets you to and from the virtual racetrack?
Yeah, I got to thank my whole family. I've already gotten text messages from family and friends about tonight's race. Pretty cool to have a lot of people watching this. Thanks to you guys for broadcasting it. My wife takes care of our daughter every Thursday night. 7:30 is right around her bedtime. That's when practice starts. So my wife's a saint for always never minding, you know, the one night a week that we get to do this, and everything that she does during the race season as well to always bringing Millie to the track, and I'm really looking forward to it again this year. So really appreciate her supporting our dream, and got to thank my great sponsors: Hancock Lumber, Bollier Construction, Brett Davis Real Estate, Sunday Morning Farm, Atlantic AV, ABG Heating and Cooling, LB Cleaning Co., Laverier Auto Detailing. Guy and Barb, I know you guys are watching. Hi. JPS, K&B Automotive. Just got a lot of great supporters on this 56 car, and I'll be working on it this weekend. We're only a little over a month away from our first race. Really looking forward to it.
Yeah, and that's Darren and I talked about that earlier on here tonight. The end of the iRacing season is always bittersweet because the iRacing season's done, but that means real race cars soon. So and
That's
warmer
right.
weather, which is nice.
And I really appreciate you guys again for all that you do. Appreciate the NEP series. Really gives us an outlet over the off season. It's a long off season when you're up in Maine in the cold. So really appreciate it.
That's a fact. I'll actually be up there in a couple of weekends checking out. Why do I forget his name all of a sudden? Bob Marley, comedian. He was in Boondocks.
I've heard of him.
That's going to be a lot
Maine's
of fun.
own.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
It.
Awesome.
Up the camp. But Evan Bollier coming home in second here tonight. We're going to slide it on down pit road just a little bit further, catch up with this championship contender. Aaron, you've got Ryan Messer.
Yeah, Ryan, we got 3 different states and provinces making up the top 3. We had Connecticut, Maine, and New Brunswick. I'm getting that right, Ryan? Third place finish. Take us through the race.
Yeah, that was a pretty wild one. Went green right all the way to the end, so it was definitely a bit of a marathon. Just it was a really tough place to try to get around. Ended up trying the shifting deal after a while, just was starting to lose a little bit of ground to Daddy-O and Evan, and then kind of started to try to shift it in the third, coming through from the center off, and then I really kind of started to gain some speed back in it a little bit. So didn't do that on the first run, so after we pitted and took tires, I tried to do that right from the start, try to save the right front a little bit, kind of just keep the nose pinned throughout the turn. That seemed to really help at first. Just I don't know, whatever I'm doing ain't quite working. Just seemed to kill the right front again before the end of it, and just couldn't seem to run them down. But had an awesome race with Steve there at the end, so that's the kind of racing that you like to see. So that was definitely fun.
Yeah, I finished a spot, only one spot ahead of Steve Daddy-O, unfortunately, but I know you always have fun racing with him week to week. And going into Dover now, I guess it's pretty much go out there for nothing but the win, although I think you've pretty much been doing that all season long.
Yeah, pretty much. I needed Steve to have bad races, like 10 races going. The guy just doesn't do it. He's pretty consistent, and he's good no matter where you go. So it's definitely going to be a well-earned championship for him. But yeah, we're going to go out to one more and see if we can go after a win.
All right, and tell us who gets you to and from the virtual racetrack. And I think it's probably still a couple months away, right, until your first race of the season?
Yeah, it's still a couple months away. The weather's looking better and better as the weeks go up here, so it won't be too long now. I'm sure my family and friends are always watching, as always, on here. They like to tune into all these races, so that wouldn't be possible without you guys at Vidane and the people at NEP for putting these on. They've been a lot of fun to be a part of.
All right, that's third place finisher Ryan Messer. And Paul, back to you to wrap things up.
Indeed. Crazy to think we went flag to flag here tonight at Loudon. 70 laps green flag racing. Some green flag pit stops. Lots of story, lots of drama. And oh, by the way, there's one more race left in the season. Going to be a blast. Going to be the longest race of the season. 100 laps, 100 miles at Dover. Going to be an absolute blast. We're going to be taking that green flag, as always, next Thursday night right here at 8:22 p.m. Eastern. Thank you all so much for tuning in here tonight. NEPS Night in America, even parts of Canada. We will catch you on the flip side, and when we do, we will be doing it live.